All right, Marcus, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm living the dream. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm in Oklahoma, so we get the World Series for softball starting on Thursday, and OU baseball's in the regionals. However, it's going to be, I think, what they said, 3 to 4 inches of rain through Thursday
Man,
and Friday. So I might not get to go to any of those games. So I'm holding out hope because
I hear you.
it's the off season. There's not a lot of sports going on. So NBA's wrapping up. Baseball's about to wrap up for college, so I'm getting to the point now where I'm craving some football. But appreciate you coming on the show today, and we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna dive right into it. So you're committed to Oklahoma. From all the other schools and the final schools on your list in your recruitment, what led you to commit to the Sooners?
Man, the biggest thing for me was just the culture. Um, my biggest three things when a coach would ask, like, what are three things you look for when it comes to a school recruiting you? I would always say culture, recruitment, and player development. Like, one is the culture, like non-selfish, like selfless. Like, am I playing for a team or am I playing for me? You know what I'm saying? And Oklahoma's they've got guys that are playing for the dude beside them, and they got guys that are gonna want to compete and make their brother better every day. And another thing was like player development. Like Oklahoma got guys going to the NFL left and right. You look at Billy Bowman, he'll probably be a second round draft pick. You look at Danny Stutzman, he'll probably be a first rounder. I mean, you got straight ballers everywhere, and they're all gonna go to the next level. And that's a big thing to me because my dream is to play in the NFL. And man, then recruitment, they recruited me the hardest. Like Coach Hall, he probably came to Bauxite like 7, 8 times, and that was way more than any other school. There were several other schools that showed a lot of love, like Utah, Michigan, Oregon, Ole Miss, but Oklahoma definitely surpassed any other school when it came to those three things.
Yeah, and you talked about the development a little bit, which, by the way, I hope Billy Bowman does not get snubbed again this year for the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award. But how familiar were you with Brent Venables' defense when he was at Oklahoma during the first stint? Because I know you probably grew up with Brent Venables dominating at Clemson. So were you really familiar with what he previously did at Oklahoma?
Not really. I was pretty familiar with what he did at Clemson, and when my recruiting process first started, Clemson was like my dream school because they had a dynamite defense every year, and they had straight dogs left and right, and I wanted to go play for that. But then Coach Venables, he went to Oklahoma, and so that kind of changed things for me and like my perspective and the way I look at schools. But nah, man, I'm pretty familiar with his defense over there at Clemson.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about that relationship with Brandon Hall, which it's interesting that he was one of the coaches that was down at your school probably the most because it's like a 5 hour drive from Norman to Bauxite, Arkansas. So, I mean, can you give us a little bit more insight to just that relationship with Brandon Hall and Coach Venables?
Oh, dude, it's fantastic. Like, I actually just got a, I got two letters, and my mom and my dad both got one, and it's really personal, man. Like, they want to know me on a personal level, not just on a football level. They don't just want me to come in and make their program good for 4 to 5 years and then give me the boot. You know what I'm saying? They want to come in. They want me to come in and develop me as a young man and because they want me to be a fantastic father and fantastic husband, fantastic mentor to young men one day, and they're going to do whatever they can to make that happen. And whether that's got to be calling my parents or sending my parents a note or whatever, or reaching out to me every day, just encouraging me to keep going, keep getting better. Let me know I'm wanted at OU as always. But nah, man, that relationship with them too is fantastic.
That's awesome. Now, I am curious because at one point you were committed to Arkansas and you decommitted and Oklahoma was in the mix. And it was kind of a shock because Arkansas does a really good job at keeping Arkansas kids in state playing for the Razorbacks. So, kind of looking at that, what kind of led to the decommitment and trying to explore other options?
Yeah, man. Shoot, like you said, they normally do a really good job at keeping kids in state. But the biggest thing for me was like uncertainty with the coaching staff. I didn't know if Coach Pittman was going to be there throughout the duration of my time being there. I didn't know if Coach Woodson, Coach Travis Williams, all those guys would be there throughout the whole time I was there. And that's a big thing for me is consistency and a coaching staff because you don't want to get recruited by one guy and then coached by another. And so that was one big thing that played into it. Another big thing is like you don't know how good or bad a place is until you go and look at other places. You know what I'm saying? So like with Arkansas is all I ever knew my whole life. So obviously it was the greatest thing ever. But like when I when I came to the decision that I was going to decommit, the thoughts in my mind were I need to go see all these other places, and then if Arkansas really is like heaven sent, then Arkansas is a place. If not, though, then I need to reevaluate my options and make a different decision.
Yeah, and yeah, looking at Sam Pittman's future at Arkansas, it's interesting because I thought he was a match made in heaven for that school in terms of the head coach. It's just, man, the SEC is just getting more competitive, and with NIL, it's just I feel like schools like Arkansas are just they're gonna have a harder time getting back on top. But listen, when Arkansas is good, I just think the SEC is a little bit better, so maybe they'll get back on the right track. But I want to talk a little bit about you were talking about Brandon Hall and then the development in Oklahoma putting guys into the league. Is there a specific player, whether they're in the NFL now, they're a retired player, or they're in college that you kind of look up to or that you model your game after?
100%. I'd definitely say Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins, he was one of the most physical safeties, one of the most athletic safeties I've ever seen in my life. If the ball was in the air, it was his, man. He could make a play, whether it was on Michael Vick or whoever, it don't matter. He was there to make the play. And another thing about Brian Dawkins is there's a clip of him hitting somebody, man. He got up. As soon as he got up, he said, "Hallelujah, man." And that's a big thing for me. Like I'm big in my faith, and I want to be able to use my platform that I have, and hopefully the platform that I'll have in the NFL to glorify the Lord in everything that I do. So that's huge for me.
Yeah, and we've had several players here on the podcast that have played at Oklahoma that have talked about that, and especially with how faith-driven this staff is, and how that's played a role in them wanting to be at Oklahoma. But what does your faith kind of play into football? Like how does that drive you, or how does that make you a better football player or a better teammate?
Man, the biggest thing is like I know I can't find my identity in football. My identity is found through Christ, and the Lord is the one who gave me this talent and this ability to be able to be as skilled as I am at this game that I love. And I haven't done anything but just work my tail off on top of a great talent that the Lord's blessed me with. So it really all ties into how I play and what I play for. Like I don't play for my own glory and my own honor. I play so that I can have a platform to honor and glorify the Lord. And I just try to be a walking testimony each and every day with that.
I love to hear that. Love to hear that. So, you got to visit a couple places. Looks like you taken visits to Michigan, Ole Miss, Bama. I don't know if you ended up at Wisconsin or Utah. It looked like you had official visits set up there, but I don't know if you ever made it out there. Um, Looking at all the places you've been, was there a specific place that had kind of stuck out in terms of they just had the coolest stadium or the environment in terms of just like, I hear Eugene is just beautiful, like a phenomenal place to go. Is there a specific school that really stood out on your visit list in terms of just like appeal and views?
Man, obviously Oklahoma, of course, just everything about it. But besides that, I definitely have to say the coolest stadium I've ever been in was the Big House up at Michigan. I was there for the Michigan Ohio State game, and there was 111,000 people there, and it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like it was standing room only, and it was so loud I couldn't even hear myself think. That was such a cool experience. Another place is Alabama. You know, as a kid, you grow up always wanting to beat Alabama because they're so good. But then you finally get the chance to go and visit there and get an offer from them. It was just really cool to be able to see kind of that historic place with some of the greatest coaches of all time, if not the greatest coaches of all time. Paul Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. But yeah, bro, those two places for sure.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you know this. You do know you get to go to the big house. You're going to get to play there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Michigan's coming here. We're going there, and then your first year in the SEC. You're gonna get to play in Tuscaloosa, so you're gonna get to hit all the big environments outside of Death Valley and LSU. I don't think anybody wants to go there. That place is a little crazy. Um, looking at your recruitment, obviously you got to be in contact with a bunch of coaches, bunch of recruiters. Who was the funniest recruiter on the recruiting trail?
Oh man, that's hard to say. Honestly, I'd probably have to go with Coach Hall. He's got he's got a really straight up sense of humor, but
Mhm.
everything he says, like you definitely got to understand sarcasm for sure. Oh man, he's hilarious. It's kind of like a dry sense of humor, but if you ever get to have a conversation with him, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But that dude is probably the funniest dude I've ever talked to when it comes to coaching.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love to hear. See, these are new coordinators. We really they've been here for a couple of years, but we don't know their personalities. So it's great to hear some of that about them and hear and learn a little bit more about these coordinators. But um, what are some of your expectations when you get to Oklahoma, and what can Sooner Nation expect from you?
Man, I'll start off with what Student Nation can expect from me. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna work my tail off each and every day. I'm going to play for the fans, for the team, most importantly, and I'm going to uphold the gold standard that Coach V has installed there. In everything that I do, I'm always going to give my 1,000% effort in everything on and off the field, school, books, workouts, whatever. You're always going to get my 110%. What I expect out of Oklahoma is to uphold the things they've told me, the fact that they're going to develop me, and I've kind of seen it firsthand. The guys going to the NFL this past year, the guys that are going to go next year, I've seen it firsthand. I expect to be developed. I expect to be surrounded by guys that, you know, they not only want to be great at football, but they want to be great in the game of life. They want to be great young men, great fathers, great husbands, great mentors. Um, and shoot, most importantly, I want to go win a national championship.
Yeah, Oklahoma Sooner fans, they're waiting for that national championship. We lost in 2008, and it's still a little too painful to talk about. But kind of, hey, as we're wrapping up here, Brent Venables and this staff, they're really working hard to shape up the 2025 class, get it finished. As I was telling you, it's off-season content. Oklahoma's already got 15 commits. We were kind of only expecting 22, maybe at the top end 25. Is there anybody that you're kind of helping try to recruit at a peer level?
Omarion Robinson and Elijah Melendez. I'm pretty tight with Omarion. He's about 20 minutes up the road from me, so we're pretty tight. Just trying to stay on him with Oklahoma. Uh, I think we could have a shot. It's just he's gonna take his time through this process, and he's gonna see what God really wants for him. And so that's the thing on him. I'd love to have him. But Elijah Melendez, I think he's pretty set on Miami right now. But I think if he can get up to Norman, then some things in his mind will change. And I'm just trying to steady recruit him. Me and him are a little close. We've been on several recruiting visits together, so we've been in touch quite a bit here lately.
Yeah, and do you have your official visit date set up with Oklahoma? Because he's going to be up here June 14th or the 16th, I believe.
Yeah, so I'll be there June 21st through the 23rd for the Champion Barbecue.
All right. Yeah, we got quite a few elite people coming in on the 14th to 16th, so he'll be in good hands. But no, I agree with you. Melendez would be an incredible addition if Oklahoma was able to land him. But hey, you know what? I appreciate you coming on the show, Marcus. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of insight to your recruitment. Where can people find you on the Bird app?
At Marcus Wimberly.
All right. Well, hey, like I said, appreciate you coming on the show. Listen, guys, if you guys have made it this far and you have not already, make sure you guys hit that like, you guys hit that subscribe button, jump in the comments below, and give us your thoughts and your opinions on if you're ready to see Marcus Wimberly in an OU uniform.